This podcast includes explicit language and sensitive topics that some may find offensive.
All views expressed belong to the individual speaking and not a representation of any entity that we have been, am now, or will be affiliated with. It's your chance to back out now.
That being said,
If not, enjoy the show.
Previously on the Black Man Misunderstood.
Finally figure out, like, hey, you know what? I think that's a rule, but nobody speaks about it. So, yeah, I'm just going to do it. Black man, misunderstood.
It's your boy Mike B.
In the neighborhood therapist. This episode includes content, possible spoilers about Black Panther and Black Panther Wakanda Forever, which is also called Black Panther 2 for those of you that don't know any better. If you have not watched either or and you do not want it to be spoiled, this is your chance to back out now.
This man, he's already a legend. He was only on this earth for a certain amount of time. 40 something years. I think correctly it's 43 to be exact. Mr. Chadwick Boseman. Most people will remember him for his iconic role, the Black Panther, T'Challa, King T'Challa, Prince T'Challa. But that's not the only movies he should be remembered for. All his movies from his last day to when he started in this industry, because his impact can be felt through all of them. 42, Mr. Jackie Robinson. If you could only envision how someone embodies a character, this Mr. Chadwick Boseman did it. He also played Thurgood. Then he started becoming a Black Panther. But let me not forget, he also played the man himself, Mr. James Brown. Get on up. The man killed his roles, and he left a legacy that cannot be forgotten. Hence the title. But Chadwick, we thank you for everything you've done and how many people you inspired that's coming in the future. Thank you, King. Welcome to the Black Man Misunderstood. Here we discuss topics about the black man that others are afraid to speak on. I am your host, Mike B, and I'm always rocking with my brother.
The neighborhood therapist was moving.
And this is episode 27 of season 3, The Legacy of the Black Panther. What's moving? What's shaking, bro?
What's good with it, man? So I want to set the occasion and tone for the listeners. Me and Mike have officially both seen Black Panther 2, Black Panther Wakanda Forever, whatever you label it, and we have not talked about it like we usually do. So this episode is us talking about it for the first time ever. So y'all are, and whatever you're gonna hear raw, in person. We're not editing nothing. I don't care if it come out uneducated, unadulterated. It's gonna be whatever it's gonna be. He gonna say what he gonna say. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say, and this is literally how our conversations go for real.
Facts.
So let's go ahead and get into this. All right. First things first. What did Black Panther do for you in 2018?
Personally, you know me. I was always a big fan of the Marvel world, but to finally have a Black-led movie, a Black-led cast by a strong Black individual as Chadwick Boseman was, it was great to see. And you know, the other thing about it was like, yeah, you knew Black Panther was the main star of the movie and everything, but the villain, Mr. Killmonger, played by Mr. Michael B. Jordan, killed it. But also, you know, I gotta big up the women, because the women didn't let Chadwick shine on his own. Like, that movie encompassed a lot of different things in the black community, our black history, African history, and people don't understand how much it did for the culture. And that's it's the impact of the movie. That's what did it for me in 2018.
Respect. Okay. I know you itching. Go ahead.
What you mean? Nah, you go first, sir. What did Black Panther do for you in 2018, sir? Come on now.
So you already know where this is going. All right. All hell King Killmonger. 100%. 100%. Okay.
You knew that was coming.
Having Killmonger depicted the way he was depicted, him being in the hood, him being left behind by his kingdom, the people that are supposed to love him walking up, hey auntie, and everybody looking at him like he ain't supposed to be in there, bro. All jokes aside, me not being petty, I feel like that was the story of a lot of black youth's lives where we didn't feel appreciated, we didn't feel loved, we don't come from we don't know our true roots until we find out our true roots. And then I feel like when you get there, they kind of looking at you like you the black sheep. So depicting that in Black Panther was phenomenal to me. People that knew me knew what type of time I was on once that whole Killmonger scene came out.
Facts. I already knew. Facts.
Everybody knew. I was just so in love with that movie because I felt like I finally could point to a movie where people would understand, like, yo, actually, that's me. No different than how Lion King was to me. It's the same thing. I relate to Young Simba a lot. You know what I mean? So those two movies to me, I feel like that was a proper representation of me personally as a black man. So that first Black Panther movie was different, dog. I don't even know how to really put a finger on it. Of course, Chadwick went bananas.
Michael B
don't
went
freeze.
bananas too.
You know what I mean? That man said, she said, don't freeze. He looked at her like she was crazy. I never freeze. Like, that was hard.
Yo, what? And they ain't froze though.
Right. So, that movie, to me, bro, 9.5 out of 10.
Yeah, you know the crazy thing is, now that you bring up that one scene though, I just thought about something. Most guys, when it comes to the girl that they love or they're gonna choose, they're like, yeah, it's the same old. I got it.
Mm-hmm.
Never's the same. Mm-hmm. Never the same. He say he ain't gonna freeze, he froze. I feel like most guys do that. When it comes to the right one, they freeze.
Oh man, that Black Panther movie, man, what it did for the culture, what it did for me personally, I definitely appreciate it. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the powers that be are in control of that. I understand that wasn't a black what's the word I'm looking for? Controlled movie. It's a black led, a black produced movie, but it's not a black controlled movie. But a step is a step. And how that new little what's up?
Well, I tell you something like this. Because most people don't even know the whole background on Black Panther. Because, like, if it was up to Kevin Feige in the early days of Marvel, this movie may have got done earlier. Because most people got to remember, yes, the powers that be didn't allow stuff to happen. And it's funny how this movie came along. This movie wasn't done until Kevin Feige was given the keys to run with his vision and whatever he thought was gonna sell. Point blank, period. So yes, you're right. That powers be, they're paying for it, but there's a little bit more that was going on behind the scenes that people don't understand. Like, in my honest opinion, out of all of the Marvel movies, there's only 2 series that I can say had more control on what they wanted to do and what they could do versus all the other ones, and that's the Black Panther and Guardians of the Galaxy. Those any other series, they had to follow a story, but those 2 had more full reign than anybody.
More than the other ones, for sure. For sure. But I'm speaking to the naysayers that's basically like, oh, y'all was going crazy over Black Panther and it wasn't even a true black movie because it's controlled by other people. And I'm like, I get it, I understand that, but Marvel is it is what it is. Marvel is not a black company, so it is what it is. You got to take a grain of salt with what it is.
Well, people keep saying that. Let's truly think about this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Any movies prior to what would you say about 2015, maybe a little bit after that,
For what?
like black owned theaters, right? Or black,
You talking about like black owned production companies and things like
basically.
that. I mean, they was there, but they wasn't doing the numbers that like Tyler Perry Studios and all that stuff is
Yeah,
doing right
you
now.
getting to my point.
Yeah,
They were touched by someone. Someone had to approve their movies. Someone
right,
had to give them the backing. So
right,
we can't always knock that it's not fully black
right,
for these
right,
reasons. Come on now. Come
right.
on now. If every black business owner or entrepreneur that wanted to start their own business waited for someone black to back them, we wouldn't have anything out here. Point
A
blank
lot.
period.
I didn't say anything. A lot.
A lot. I wouldn't say anything. You're right. A lot. A lot.
Mm.
Choose my words. We wouldn't have a lot. Definitely wouldn't have a lot. So I forget what's the old saying. You gotta use your resources until you don't need them no more. That's not the exact
Yeah,
saying,
something like
but
that.
you get
That
what I'm
makes sense.
trying to say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So for the big question, man, what did Black Panther: Wakanda Forever do for you in 2022, dog?
Woo! All right. So number one, it gave. In my honest opinion, I feel like this gave the closing celebration for Chadwick's life. Honestly, the way how it started and the way how it ended, because it started with Chadwick and ended with Chad.
Mm.
It gave us something to look forward to, right? And basically, specifically with the end scene, it basically said, "All right, Chadwick started a movement, but it ain't over. This is only the beginning. I'm only one person taking a run with it."
Mm.
That's what I think what Black Panther Wakanda Forever did for me.
Mm.
It's basically telling you, all right, yeah, I may not be here. Just like we always said, our ancestors started something, but we got to
Mm-hmm.
continue it. Chadwick started something. Now it's time to continue it. I think that's more so what Black Panther Wakanda Forever did for me. Another point though that I consciously thought about this, and we'll probably get into this more later, is that some way, somehow, the world is always putting people against each other that shouldn't be fighting against each other. And I'm gonna just leave it at that. I'm gonna just leave it at that.
Mm.
What about you, bro?
So straight out the gate, I'm giving out ratings, man. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10.
Really?
I did. I didn't hate it. I liked it. I didn't love it. It had its moments. I felt like it did what it needed to do in regards to what it could do to try to capitalize off of Black Panther One. I don't think they will ever be able to do what they did with Black Panther One because it was just too raw. It was too much going on at the time. It is just too much. It was the prelude to 2019 and 2020. Period. So things was popping right after that. So we're never gonna have that a time like that ever.
True,
I'm saying
true,
what I
true,
said.
true,
Okay?
true, true. I see what you're
Um,
talking about. Yep.
right. What I respected the utmost about Black Panther Wakanda Forever was the women's impact. Um,
Whoo!
yeah. Listen,
Yep.
dog. Listen. Again, spoilers, right? Riri been my dog. Before before screen time. Mike can attest to this. Riri's been my girl. Okay, the fact that they had Riri on some like educated, like super genius black girl, but still gutty. Like
Yo, facts
yo,
from Chi-Town.
listen, listen. That was to me. That was the biggest takeaway. No disrespect to old girl. Yo, Shuri had me vexed a lot of that movie. I'm glad they did what they did with the situation to make her turn and get this over with. Um, but overall, it was a 7.5. I feel like a couple of those parts could have been cut out. I understand though. Make everybody feel included, make everybody
Mm.
feel wanted. And like Mike alluded to, those two groups that had to go to war. I understand why we had damn near 40 minutes dedicated to another culture and understanding, and I appreciate it. I understand where you was going with that. Again, though, why is it? This is me on my venting box at this point. Why is
I
it
already
that
know
when
where
we
you
get
going.
something, you already know what time it's about to be. Why is it when we get something right for the culture, as they call it, and when we say the culture, we're talking about black people, right? Let's just stop playing games. Why is it when we get something for us, we almost always have to include everybody else? Now, do not get me wrong.
Ooh.
We're gonna take it there. Fuck that. Okay, we go. I'm gonna say this for what it is. The majority of those people, right, that were in that, they were depicting something, right? And I'm not mad at it. But if you were gonna depict it, you should have still had darker faces in there
I knew
because
that was
it was a fact, right?
coming.
But the way you pictured it is basically a bunch of fair skins versus a bunch of darker hues, and I wasn't
Uh-huh.
cool. I
Uh-huh.
just wasn't cool with that. Because if you're gonna do it based off a population of people in Central America, make the people look the way that they supposed to look. It's different hues. It's super light hues and it's super dark hues. There's people darker than me over there, so they need to be placed underwater too. You understand? So that was my beef. Other than that, though, great movie, decent movie. They did what they could, with what they could. Jabari, shout out to him. He went hard. He
Yo.
went.
What?
Riri went hard. Angela went hard. Okoye, yo, she's Michonne to me from Walking Dead. She always go hard.
Facts. Facts. That's the same thing Keisha said to me.
Word. So I appreciated it overall, man.
Nah, bruh. All that. All of that. I can completely agree. And I get that point. And you know the funny thing is, I was so hyped the first night I saw it and whatnot. And I knew this was coming. And then I started talking to my sister, my brothers. They all started watching it. Of course, I saw it with the missus. And like, all right, I'm like, all right, it's not the perfect movie how I want it to be.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down. You gave it a 7.5. My honest opinion, I still give it an 8.5. The reason why it's an 8.5 is because it had a complete story from start to finish. Some parts of the story you saw coming, but I feel like a majority of the story I don't think people understood or saw how it came that way. Cause like I think a lot of people, spoiler warning, a lot of people was upset that Shuri saw Killmonger but didn't understand why. Right? People were upset about that. And I'm telling you, not me. I wasn't upset. But hold on. Before we get there, I have to ask this question because I think asking this question will get us going. Why is this movie celebrated so much?
Man, this is gonna be a long ass episode messing with you, dog.
I know.
All right. Why is the movie so celebrated? We talking about the embodiment of 1 and 2, or just one? What we
Oh,
talking
I
about?
would say both. You can't. You can separate them, but at this point, I think it's just a building up because it's basically the same cast minus Chadwick.
And my man from Get Out. I can't ever say his name.
Oh, he had a schedule. Yeah, he had a scheduling conflict for part 2. That's why.
No, he had a loyalty conflict for part 2. because what's his name? Keenan Pill, Jordan
Yeah,
Pill. What's his
yeah,
name?
yeah. Jordan
Jordan Pill,
Peele.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jordan Peele reached out to him, was like, "Hey, you want to lead this movie?" Boom, boom, boom. And then he looked at his schedule and he was like, "Boy, Black Panther 2," and then he had to make a decision. Rightfully so, he went with the person that brought him in and brought him on.
Well, I don't even think that's just it by itself. I think we also got to remember the pandemic did push a whole bunch of production into back.
Again, it's still a loyalty complex because
Yeah,
he could have.
I get the loyalty complex, but I feel as though also if Black Panther 2, if the pandemic didn't happen, Black Panther 2 would have been shot when? Not this year, not last year. It had probably been shot 2 years ago, before Chadwick even died. So everything happens for a reason.
My man, you turning down Black Panther 2, bro? To do what was that movie called?
Nope. Is it Nope?
Yes, nope. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't
You
even seen
turning
it yet. I haven't seen it yet.
Man, that's a cop out. Heard you. Say less.
You stupid.
All right. Why is the movie so celebrated? Because, period. I don't care what nobody say. You can sit there and lie if you want to lie. Because it showed black people, even if you feel like you're not African, right? You don't come from that continent. It showed black people, hey, you have something to look forward to. And it had little hidden undertones that, hey, these people, these colonizers come and they take your resources. I wonder
Ooh.
why they doing that. That movie
Ooh.
shows that, it depicts that, and that's for the adults. For the kids, it gives them accurate depiction of, hey, I could be a superhero too. I don't have to look like
Facts.
Superman. I don't have to look
Facts.
like Batman.
Facts.
So that's why.
I'm a piggyback on you, but I'm gonna go more so of the production part of it. These movies are so celebrated because of one man that Marvel decided to go with, right? And I'm glad that they decided to go with it. And that is the director. Oh boy. Dang, why is his name escaping my head right now?
Ryan.
Yes, Ryan Coogler. Yes.
Mhm.
And y'all could go look this up. Go look at all of Ryan Coogler's movies that have made it big. He's always teaching you a lesson. One.
Mm.
Two, there's always two sides to every one of his stories. Every one of his stories. And the man, when I tell you the man does his homework and gives you all of him in a movie, he does that. He does that. If you haven't watched Fruitvale Station, go watch it. Just saying. But this man Ryan Coogler put his heart and soul into this movie, and he goes the extra mile because you see it in the behind the scenes in part one, and you see it in the behind the scenes of part two, and there's even more stuff that they're releasing as the weeks go by with this movie. In part one, he did his homework on the history of different tribes in Africa and brought those pieces into the movie.
Right.
You can't. It goes back to your point of seeing us in a great light. Ryan Coogler did that. But also, like you said, he shows that dichotomy of the blacks, especially in this world, coming up from the ground up when you had nothing, and show that we always had something and we are very prideful of it.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all these movies are celebrated. Now, part two is a little bit more emotional than part one, but I thank him for doing part two as emotional as he did, because it shows when someone great in our our rhombus, because we don't use circles over here, in our rhombus leaves us, how it affects everyone differently.
Mm.
There's that person who goes by their job and do what they need to do. There's the person that step into the role and then has to do it their way. And then it also shows you the complete opposite of someone who can accept it, and dives into something to preoccupy their time and their mind from traveling down that rabbit hole and accepting that that person is fully gone.
Right.
That is why these movies are celebrated as they should be.
Big shout outs to Ryan. I see you, baby boy. Okay. I got a banger for you.
All right.
If he was still alive, would he be as renowned as he is? Chadwick.
Yes. And I didn't realize this in the moment, but I think you still would find out later on. Yes. Chadwick is renowned the same way why Denzel Washington is renowned.
Mm.
And people don't even, and I think some people don't even understand that just yet. Because yes, Denzel has had the iconic roles just like Chadwick. In my honest opinion, Chadwick's Black Panther is Denzel's Malcolm X.
I was gonna say Training Day, but I'm rocking. Go ahead.
Nah, I wouldn't say Training Day. You know why I wouldn't say Training Day? Because Training Day, Denzel's depicted as a dick. I'm gonna just say it like that. He's depicted as a dick. While in Malcolm, he's basically the hero. Even though maybe people don't agree with Malcolm's tactics and the way he went about certain stuff in life. But that's Malcolm X. Point blank period. That's who he is. All right? But the reason why I'm using Denzel is because of what Denzel does outside of acting from what people see him, right? He's always giving back. And also, two, Denzel has a certain character about himself, a way he carries himself. Chadwick was the same way. Because as we all know, no one really knew what he was going through. And he still carried himself a certain way. Like, you can't get that. This is a generational talent. Generational icon. A generational person for people to look up to. I think Chadwick would be renowned still, just because he did Black Panther. But it's because the way he carried himself. Like, the stories would have came out later. Honestly, the stories started coming out before Black Panther came out. A lot of the stories started coming out when he did James Brown, in my honest opinion, when he did Jackie. And to hear the story about him and Michael B. and him asking for the background of a character that when he first was in the industry, and they told him that his daddy wasn't there and his mom was on drugs, and he couldn't accept that because that's how they try to always depict us in the industry at that point in time before we had our. This is why Chadwick was so renowned, because he stood on what he believed in. And I feel as though too many of us waver. He stood on his beliefs. That's why even if he was alive today, he still would be renowned, because he stands on his beliefs.
Gotcha. Copy. I can't say that I fully agree. As much as I love Chad, as much as I rock with him, people are fickle, especially our people. And the way that they treated that man when the pictures came out with him losing all that weight and them cracking jokes on Instagram, TikTok, and all that stuff like that, to the majority of people, I don't feel like he would have been renowned. But to the people that get it, people that are artsy, people that understand creativity and genius, like a Mike B, you know what I mean? Like, he would have been renowned to us. So I'm gonna say no. I think they would have got it after he passed away or after he would have got older and something like that. They've been like, you know what? He actually had a bunch of bangers. You know how people do.
Well, that's what I was basically saying. I still think he would be renowned if he was still alive. That's what I was saying. I still think he would be renowned, but like I said, we wouldn't have heard all those stories as soon as we did.
I just don't think somebody like him would have been renowned until he would have passed away. It's different when Denzel. You give him his flowers now. I didn't see Chadwick getting his flowers, bro. Especially everything that they put him through when he lost that weight. That said enough to me. Denzel grew up in a different generation. You know what I mean? We watched him grow up.
I got you.
You know what I mean?
I got you. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Chadwick grew up in the social media age. Like these people ain't really. They're not. You know what I mean? You get on going. Like it's not, it don't need to be continually said. It is what it is. But
yeah, I get what you're saying though.
Let's dig into this, right? Killmonger versus T'Challa. It almost divided black men, right? When it came out in 2018, right? And it was a movie. It was a movie, but we was ready to fight over it, right? So this is my question to you. Why do we go through this duality of sides with black men historically? Hear me out. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr. W.E.B. Du Bois, Booker T. Washington. Tupac, Biggie. Killmonger, T'Challa.
You want me to answer?
Let's keep going. You got Bloods and Crips. I can keep going. I ain't
going. I know you can keep going. But this duality, right? In my honest opinion, I don't even think it's like a duality anymore. I feel like it's basically it's a coin. It's two sides of a person, right? I feel like all black men have both in them. It's what side they choose to show more, right? And then on top of it, it's all the outside noise. All the outside noise making us put one against the other. Basically. It's the outside noise telling us it's one against the other. In all honesty, if you think about, even though it's a movie and they technically need a villain and a hero. All right, here we go. Hero and villain again, all right? How often do these people in power tend to put that piece in the front versus hearing about how people work together or hearing a community come together? Because in all honesty, people always love the drama versus hearing people coming together. Not realizing when people come together, there's always drama because you have to talk it out. You have to build to it. You have to work out differences. Because not every one person is right. So we constantly go through this duality in real life. In my honest opinion, more so because of outside forces. Because if two black men if they can honestly have a real full conversation with each other and let out all the emotions and grievances and give out their points without anyone talking to them, my honest opinion, they'll figure something out where they can settle on and meet in the middle. And now, not everything's right, but they will meet in the middle. Hence, why our government don't know how to maneuver everything properly in this world. But that's a whole nother story. It's really just sitting down and talking. And now letting the outside noise get into it.
You hit that on the head. It's nothing for me to you hit on the head. It's outside forces. I think it is a duality to me. It's a different side of the coin, but it's still a duality. Like you said, I feel like every black man has both of those sides. It's just which side do you plan on, or which side do you lean to more? You know what happens with that. But I feel like we understand that in the black community. You got that group, you got this group. right? We can still coincide, but it's two different groups. But the powers that be want to put those two groups against each other, which gives
Mm-hmm.
you,
That tears them
red versus
down.
right, red versus blue. You know what I mean? And I always, to me, I know people be laughing and jump, but I always go back to Bloods and the Crips because like I really grew up around that. I really understand the story. I understand the forefathers that came before, all that, right? Gang talk. But what I should be trying to understand and explain to people is y'all forgot what the Bloods and Crips. First of all, if you ain't even from it, you don't even understand that that's both of those things stand for something, right? It actually means something. Blood means something. Crip means something. It's not for me to speak on anything further than that, but they mean something, right? They were for their communities, right? But if you go a little deeper, right, and I ain't trying to be all philosophical, but red and blue make green, bro. Money. So, you know what I mean? Like this is a money grab at the end of the day. Like the powers that be saw money and was like, look, you got these two warring factions. Well, not even warring factions. They was doing something to protect themselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know what? Let's get them to hate each other. It's no different than Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. They was fighting literally for the same thing. They was just going about it in different ways.
Routes. Yep.
Yeah. So and then event like I keep saying is eventually MLK was like, yo, I kinda understand what my brother was talking about. And he went that way.
Yo, correct me if I'm wrong. I forget their exact death dates, but I could have sworn they died within a year of each other.
Something like that, bro.
I wouldn't even
Don't
like.
don't
I'm pretty. I've checked this probably before, and I'm almost positive they probably died within a year of each other.
don't get me started with dates, bro. I
I
just
know. I know.
it's cool,
Hey,
bro.
it'd be funny if it's sooner though.
Yo, next topic, yo. Let's get into these definitions, man. Let's can we have hero talk real fast?
Yeah, hero talk, hero talk, hero talk. Go ahead, bro.
All right, bet. Hero, a person who is admired or idolized for courage, outstanding achievements, or noble qualities. Okay, that last one is important. Noble qualities, right? A villain, a character whose evil actions or motives are important to the plot. Period. That's it. Anti-hero, a character in a story who may lack conventional heroic qualities and attributes such as idealism, courage, and morality. They are oftentimes not as noble as the hero.
Mm,
So, with me saying that, right, Mike, my
mm-hmm,
question to
mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
is who are your heroes? And two, I gotta be petty. I gotta say it to your face. Mike, you too noble, man. You too noble, dog.
I knew you were gonna say that. I knew he was gonna say some nonsense like that.
Too
I'm like,
noble,
he gonna
bro.
come for me. He gonna come for me. Ah.
But who are your heroes, dog?
Um, I feel like we spoke on this a bunch of different times. But I'm specifically look at male heroes, right?
Mm.
Of course, I'm gonna start off. My first hero, of course, is my dad. I see him in the house. I'm growing up, and this is who I look like. Ain't gonna front. Father, that's your first hero, right?
Mm.
And then you start to get different mentors in life, coaches, men that elders in the church. So I would like to say I probably had many heroes. If I think about it, I definitely had many heroes, and they all served a different purpose at one point or another in my life. Um, and now that I'm older, you can kind of basically, I can say I am my own hero sometimes. Because then I think back to be like, all right, I want to do what he did, but now what he did, I'm gonna take part of this person. Okay, now I'm gonna take part of that and just be my own man, right? But at the same time, even when I'm saying that, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, I may be looking at all these different individuals and then say I am my own hero, but I'm still looking at different individuals. That I don't think that would ever change in anyone. until you stop living, and you basically become someone else's hero at that point. So, in my honest opinion, your heroes are just every single person that you can get something from, and I'm specifically talking about black men. Now, that is a positive example or a negative example, because sometimes it is the in between. You need a little bit of both every now and then. So I don't think I have exact. I can name exactly who's my heroes because I feel like I have a lot of them. What about you, sir?
I don't have any of those. I know that's gonna confuse a lot of people because they're gonna be like, "Yo, you got Batman in your background. You got Batman chairs. You got Batman this, Batman that." But if you really, really have grown up around me and you really do know me, you do know that I don't care for heroes. I don't like them. I love anti-heroes.
I knew this was where this was going.
You know what I mean?
And some villains.
And the villains, facts. J. Cole, he said it best. Why do we claim to the villains knowing damn well they're gonna kill them? We know, and that's why that's my squad. The anti-heroes and the villains. Now, if you want to be like super, super, uber serious, to say like, oh, who inspires you and things like that. Yeah, there was a bunch of men in my life that inspired me, but I will never call them my heroes because I'm one of those people that like I could see the flaws. So like I want to. These are people I learn from, but you couldn't be my hero. In order to be my hero, you gotta be damn near perfect, and there's nobody that does that except for God, depending on what you believe in. So that's why I don't really have heroes. It's just not something I do as a man personally. But I got a bunch of men I look up to. But that hero word, we don't get along. That's why I'm playing with Mike. Like, oh, bro, you too noble. You gonna be noble, or you gonna do what you gotta do to get the job done. That's some real anti-hero shit.
Yo, you're best. This is why he probably loves Black Adam, y'all.
You got it, bro.
Nah, it's all good, but I think you hit it on its head because I don't even really think like why are we so attracted to liking heroes and villains and anti-heroes? I feel as though we all see, like I said before, a little something in each of them to take. That's why I said I can't name my heroes. Because some people may think of what they did was negative, but it may have been necessary to get something done.
Right. So can we talk about black actors? I know you alluded to it earlier.
Oh yeah.
Come on, hit me with it, bro.
Do black actors get more recognition as the villains more times in movies? I.e., Denzel won the Oscar for Best Actor in Training Day.
That answer is yes, hands down.
Of course.
Hands down.
Of course.
Jabari was as good as he was in the first Black Panther because he was technically the anti-hero. And for a moment, if you was watching the movie, for a moment he was the villain. Just for a moment.
Oh yeah.
But now he's loved. You know what I mean? So I feel like not even just in the I'm gonna speak for myself. I'm attracted to villains and anti-heroes because they buck the system. But I think in all reality, I think Americans as a whole enjoy chaos like that too. Like you alluded to earlier, like they just enjoy the chaos of it. So it's like, yeah, you rooting for the hero, but secretly you want the villain to beat his ass, his or her ass. Like you want secretly, right? But why are black men almost always in that villain role? I mean, you know what that is. It ain't really nothing to talk about. But my whole thing is, why did it take for Denzel to be a bad guy for him to win that thing?
Exactly.
Yeah, now we talking.
Yep.
Now we talking.
Yep. Like he was in Glory. Could have won the Oscar for that.
Could have.
Malcolm X, we done talked about it, but they don't want to give it to him. They don't want to give it to him because it's a figure that people don't believe should die that early.
Not because of that.
Yeah,
He
no.
wasn't gonna get it for that. I'm sorry.
We all know why he wasn't getting it for that. They didn't want to promote what Malcolm X was teaching was actually true. That's why they took him out before he got his Nobel Peace Prize. That's all I got to say about that. Hey,
Well,
you keeping it funky.
all right.
Not,
So you think it's a powers that be thing? Like just
it's definitely a powers that be thing, especially with the academy. Even though that's slowly changing, right?
mm,
But even still, how much of it is it slowly changing? If the whole Will Smith thing happened earlier this year, they could have easily cut to commercial as soon as it happened.
I didn't think about that. I didn't
It
think
could
about that.
it could have easily cut to commercial. Like surprise. It could have did something
Immediately after the slap, you're saying, right?
immediately
Yeah,
after the slap.
yeah, because they panned to him in the crowd and he's still talking. And yo, you on to something, my boy? I didn't think
Bro,
about it.
because if I was reading an article correctly, right, I think in some other parts of the world, that whole thing got blocked.
It
As
did, yeah.
soon as
No,
it
fact.
happened,
Yeah, fact.
right?
Fact.
Why not in the United States?
The American dream. Why do we cling to the villains, knowing damn what? Yeah, J. Cole, he was on point, bro. Go ahead.
and that's an Academy Award moment. And he goes on to win Best Actor. So
Legacy. Can we talk about legacy? Legacy, man.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I got you.
Definitely.
Legacy. All right, so I got to give the definition, right? And I saw like 3 different things, and I'm like, yo, they really this is the definition of legacy. 1, the noun, an amount of money or property left to someone in a will. Legacy. All right. Here's another one. An applicant to a particular college or university who is regarded preferentially because of a parent or other relative attended the same institution. Heard of that too. Adjective. And this is with computer, with the computer. Denoting or relating to a software or hard drive that has been superseded but is difficult to replace because of its wide use. And then I look up like, what's the true meaning of legacy? And it gave me this. A gift by will, especially of money or personal property. Going back to the original noun again. So I was like, all right, legacy of a person. Give me something different. Finally, I have somewhat of a decent answer. Something that is passed on. Legacy. That is what we're talking about. But legacy had all those other meanings.
So legacy for a person, right? You had to dig for this definition, by the way.
Yeah. This wasn't the first thing given. No.
Okay, so based off of the, you know what? Use all the definitions, right? We're gonna play this game real quick. You ready? If you had to be, would you be okay with being your own legacy? What I mean by that is I want you to think about Chadwick. I want you to think about Tupac. I want you to think about Wilt Chamberlain. They were their own legacies. They didn't have kids to pass on that legacy to. They didn't have kids to pass on that wealth to. At least none that we know of anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So would you be okay with Mike B being the last for Mike B?
I say yes. And it kind of goes hand in hand on how Chadwick thought about his legacy. Has that so fired out after he died, and with all the hype with Black Panther, stuff started coming back up again. So I plan on doing a couple of different things, and I can't divulge everything because if I tell everybody everything, it won't come to fruition. Some people will try to stop me. But I'll tell you one thing. I try to impact the next generation, whether it's the next generation directly after us, one that's not here yet, or one that's coming. And that's just by telling stories, helping them out, or building them up, right? Because like even now, I'm a full grown adult, bills, wife, everything, but I still have people pouring into me, right? And I don't even think people think about it at that point in time, like, oh, that's my legacy, because they're passing stuff down to me that may not have been passed down or taught to them, or it was taught to them late, so they're giving it to me early. That's what I try to do, even doing it that I know what I'm doing it, or just doing it unknowingly just by my actions and me just being Mike B. I would be okay with that being my legacy.
I ain't got no rebuttal to that. It's bars.
What's your what's your legacy, bro?
Mm, it's hard to pinpoint. I can't really speak for other people. I can just tell you what they've told me. Um, and this leads me to my question, so I can answer it within the question, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, so what I was gonna ask was, what song would you point an alien to say, hey, if they say, hey, describe yourself to me, what song would you point to? For me, it would be J. Cole, Two Face. It's
Hmm.
two sides to a yo. I said it's two sides, because he cursing in there. I don't want do all that, but basically, seen haven't seen hell. Two faces of the veil. One side kills, and that's my life. Literally, like
Mm.
a good kid that also did a lot of bad things. You understand? So, like, that is my youth legacy. As an adult, though, they if you put those two kids, the kid and the man in the room, they won't recognize each other. So the legacy that I feel like I'm gonna leave, regardless if I have kids or not, because literally, if you type my name in, Justice Payne Tyson, I'm the only person in the world that's gonna pop up. I'm the only person in the world with that name. So even if I don't want to leave a legacy by myself, let's say I don't want to do a junior, it's too late. There's only one in the world. So what type of legacy am I leaving, bro? I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I'm gonna let it play its cards out, man. Whatever
Hey,
people want to say,
hey,
whatever people
hey,
want to say,
hey.
you right, you got it. You know what I mean? I can't argue with that because I'm gone. But who do I feel I embody? Like I done told you, bro. I was born in the '90s, right? Physically, but
Mm-hmm.
mentally, I've been here before, bro. I'm a '70s baby. I don't care. I tell people that all the time. That's my life. Carry myself as a black man that love black people, that love all people. But please don't get confused. Like, I stand where I stand. I am who I am, and that's my legacy, bro. So at the end of the day, you'll never be able to be like just flipped on people. Uh, just was fake about this and this and this and this. Like, maybe fake to you, but you ask the people that was around him, he was solid.
Tell you a different story. Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah, no, he stood his ground. Does that mean I was perfect? Hell no. Like, what I mean? I've done things I wasn't supposed to be doing and could be frowned upon and looked at as corny or whatever you want to name it. But bro, at the end of the day, if we talking about legacy, passing down wealth, passing down
Mm-hmm.
anything,
Mm-hmm.
like for a child to look at him and be like, Daddy, who are you? I'm a dude from a place that you don't get out of, who made a way and then eventually found a way to make a way for the people that he loved. That's my legacy. Period.
Ooh.
Period.
Ooh. Hey, bro, no, honestly, I couldn't say it better than myself. Can't say it better than myself. Because I feel as though that's that's what I want to do. It's not even what I want to do. That's what I'm striving to do. All right, to leave it better than the way I came.
Right.
Hands down. I ain't gonna front. That is my legacy that I want to leave. I just want to leave it better than the way I came into it. Point blank. Period.
Do it, noble one. Do it.
silly. But yeah, legacy is big. Legacy is really big. Now, we mentioned it earlier. I'm gonna bring this full circle. The Black Panther, aka Mr. Chadwick Boseman, but I'm sticking on the movie side of things right now. To King T'Challa left his legacy, and for the people who stayed, found out this man had his own kid. His Haitian name is Toussaint, but his Wakandan name is T'Challa. Yes, the Black Panther left his legacy in the movie, so we know he left the world better than what he came into. Because before, Wakanda was secret. No one could get into Wakanda freely. Still can't. Unless you Namor. That's a whole different story. But he left it better that the world understand who and what Wakanda is, even though everyone's trying to get what they got. And basically growing them, making them grow differently, so he can lead the world better than where he left it. And we'll see that in the movies probably in a decade or so. But listeners, what legacy you leaving? See y'all next week. What up, listeners? Mike B here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on IG at BMM_podcast. On TikTok at BMM Podcast. Facebook, just type in the Black Man Misunderstood Podcast. And then you can find the Neighborhood Therapist at the Neighborhood Therapist on IG. And you can find myself at MikeB_BMM on IG. And if you want to connect with our producer, the DJ himself, Mr. DJ Daxter, check him out at DJ Daxter on IG. Alright, folks. See y'all next week.